This is the MMA Takes Podcast. With your host, Brian Petrie.
Concentration on this fight card. UFC Lemos versus Andrade this Saturday. If you're watching on YouTube, MMA Takes Podcast on YouTube, I am wearing the MMA Podcast merch. I ordered all 5 shirts. Only got one, and it's the logo shirt. Boys and girls, it is soft. It is soft. You could literally wipe your child's ass with it if you wanted to. I'm telling you, baby soft, making me look jacked, a little tight on the armchair, barely fit in the fucking screen. But we're here, baby. Let's go. Yeah, not a lot of fluff. Not a lot of fluffing around here. We're going to jump right to the fights because PFL's on. My guy, Kenny Flooring, is on the telecast. PFL, great card this week. I got a lot on Don Madge. Did I move the line on Don Madge? That's to be decided, but I did put 2 unis on my guy. Ever since he's been on the podcast, I have gambled on him every single time he has won. Had a crazy busy day today. Did not want to drive to Indiana, but I did it. I got it done. Placed the bets. Now we're going to pick some winners. This card, obviously not the best on paper. I do think there's some good spots on here. A lot of up-and-coming guys. A lot of guys coming back that I'm actually kind of excited to see here. So I think we're in for a decent little scrap Saturday night, boys. Big combat sports weekend. You got Tyson Fury fighting Dylan White. You got 2 Bellator shows. You got PFL tonight. You got UFC Saturday. If you're a combat sports fan, you cannot go wrong this weekend, boys. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, listen, here we go. First fight of the night, Dean Barry from Ireland. This is the actual number from a fighter that's 4-1 who is a mid talent at best. Minus 1125 is what I have him literally just seconds ago. I got from DraftKings against Mike Jackson, 0-1 plus 700. So Dean Barry, if you don't know, I did some research on this guy this week. He's a Raymond Daniels trained karate kickboxer coming over to MMA. He's not the youngest guy in the world. He's 4-1. Got some unique style striking. He's like Stephen Thompson mixed with Lyoto a little bit, right? He's not quite Raymond Daniels. Raymond Daniels is a little more explosive. He's not as bouncy as Stephen Thompson. He's more patient like Lyoto, but very similar karate styles. Pretty good. 4-1. He's 29 years old, coming over to MMA. He's fought kind of nobody, although I did watch the Drew Lipton fight was a complete joke. He knocked Drew Lipton out in 20 seconds. That Drew Lipton 6-30. 6-30, boys. But Abdullah Al-Basari, a fight back in 2020, this dude's a bricked up dude, and he kept taking Dean down and had some Dean in some really bad positions. And, he got out of a lot of those and showed some heart and power and knocked him out in the first round. I like that fight for him. That was his best fight. And then Anthony Taylor was his only loss by rear naked choke back in 2018. Anthony Taylor is known for the guy that follows around Jake Paul and boxes and gets beat up and says, hey, I'm an MMA fighter too. Yeah, Anthony, you're an MMA fighter, but you're 7-5 as an MMA fighter. You're 32 years old. Now you're boxing. You can't beat Chris Alvey on boxing. Can't beat Tommy Fury. It is what it is. He's hitting on the Kardashians on Twitter. Shoot your shot, young bull. But it ain't gonna happen. But listen, Dean Barry's fighting Mike Jackson. Yeah, that same Mike Jackson who knocked out CM Punk, or excuse me, didn't knock out CM Punk. Excuse me. I am so sorry, Phillip Brooks. You did not get knocked out. It was a decision loss. Got overturned because I think Mike Jackson popped for weed or some shit like that. His only other professional fight in MMA is Mickey Gall, where he did get dropped, choked out in under a minute in the first round. That was basically the CM Punk sweepstakes. Who's going to fight CM Punk is basically what that fight was. But yeah, he's just, listen, he's 0-1. And people are like, why is he 0-1? Why is he still in the UFC? Because the UFC honors contracts, boys. This guy signed a 4-fight deal or 3-fight deal, hasn't hit that deal yet. He's an MMA journalist. He's out there doing photo, photographer. Apparently he's very good at his job. I'm not familiar with his work, but he has work outside being a fighter. But he's also like, the UFC's like, listen, we're going to keep this guy on the roster because we're going to feed him to guys that we think we can sell. Dean Barry coming from Ireland, have a nice little background, perfect sell. This line's absurd. Dean Barry's going to win by KO. I don't have any of the props. DraftKings doesn't have any props yet maybe for the main card they do, but at least for this fight they do not. If you want to improve that line, it's Dean Barry by KO. I think he's going to knock out Mike Jackson here. I think Mike Jackson's sloppy takedowns aren't going to work. And I think Dean Barry, who I've been following this week, he's been doing a pretty good job at, like video blogging his travels and whatnot. He seems pretty laser focused. So Dean Barry. Next up, Marcin Practico. He is a -125 versus Philip Lins. +105. I've never been really high on either of these guys. Practico stole money right from my hands. How did he beat Khalil Roundtree? Then he stops Ike Villanueva with a body kick. This guy who literally had no chin, was getting knocked out left and right in the UFC, is now on a 2-fight win streak here. Philip Lins feels like he hasn't fought in forever. He pulls out of every fight. Now he's at 205, was at heavyweight, did pretty well in the PFL, has not done well in the UFC. What kind of Philip Lins are we going to get here? The guy's pretty good in the clinch. He likes to clinch up with you. He likes to throw knees. He likes to get ugly, bully ball in that clinch, fuck you up a little bit. Is that going to be enough? Practico, even though I think his chin is weak, he does have some good striking. Like his striking against Khalil Roundtree looked pretty good. Khalil fell off a cliff. His cardio-wise did, but he looked pretty good. What do we got here? Just a bunch of goddamn Twitters. I love you, Twitters. I almost had 1,000 followers, which is absolutely fucking bonkers. Anyway, Practico does have some decent striking, whatever, but his chin's a little, but it's better than Philip Lins. But Philip Lins, even though his chin's not that great either, he's been put out by heavyweights. I've always maintained that 205ers hit just as hard as heavyweights, so just faster. But I don't have a lot of dogs, so I gotta take a dog, and I gotta fucking dog the bounty hunter, baby. I'm the dog, the big bad dog. I am not happy dog locking Philip Lins, but when I look at this card, there's not a lot of meat on the bones as far as underdogs as I'm concerned. If you really want to take a shot at some of these +700s, I'm not going to stop you. There's another guy I like. I don't know where he's going to fall underdog wise. Evan Elder, who just got announced today to fight. Not sure how that line's going to shake out. But yeah, so I got to lock him up. I'm going to lock him up dog style here. Give me Philip Lins. Not happy about it, but I do think if he gets in the clinch, he can land a shot, and Practico's chin's always going to be an issue for me. It's always going to be an issue. And hopefully it's an issue here, because this looks like a fight that I'm looking. Listen, I cleaned up last week. I missed my slime ball, but I battled back. And I won money on betting underdogs. So betting underdogs pays off, but you got to pick the right underdogs. Let's not just throw shit at a board. Let's do it smart. Let's do it concise. And I think Philip Lins has a really good shot here. +105. It's barely an underdog. It's a baby dog. It's a little puppy. But God damn it, we're doing it. All right, Elite Yulong versus Cameron Else. Elite Yulong -225 versus Cameron Else. Cameron Lang. Did I say Cameron Else? Excuse me. +185. Was on the Yank and Florian. As you know, go listen to that. Best MMA podcast in the world. And they do the pronunciation of the week. Cody Merrow does the pronunciation of the week. So they played a video file, and Cody tried to pronounce Elite Yulong's name. And, it's impossible. He speaks Mongolian or Chinese. I can't remember which one. He's a Mongolian murder. I'm assuming, I'm not educated enough, but I'm assuming Mongolian is a different language, Chinese, whatever. Anyway, but the way he says Mongolian murderer, like he literally goes on the file, he goes, or Li Chulong, Mongolian murderer. Go listen to it. This guy's murdered people before. That scared me. I've had nightmares since I've heard that. Mongolian murderer. Like he only learned English to fucking say Mongolian murderer to scare people. I don't get scared easy. The Mongolian murderer shook me, man. That's a creepy fucking, oh man. However, Mongolian murderer is 0-2 in the UFC, but he has fought some good competition. Jeff Molina was an absolute banger of a fight. Cody Durden, say what you want about the guy, might not be the best guy in the world, but is a pretty scrappy dude. Cameron Else, this guy coming in, lost Kyler Phillips on his debut on short notice. Not a big deal. Kyler Phillips is my guy. That dude's just hanging loose, giving the shakas, probably banging every chick on the beach. Well, he's from Arizona, banging every chick at a bar in Arizona. That guy's just slanging it. Cameron Else, you dig into this guy's record. He hasn't beat anybody good. This has been kind of the theme on MMA Twitter. A lot of people sharing stats at Cameron Else. All his victories against really weak competition. Elite Yulong, 2011, at the best record. That regional Chinese MMA scene is still up and coming. It's still trying to become good, but he has fought 2 competitive fights in the UFC against 2 real guys who I think are really good. Jeff Molina, who's undefeated in the UFC, and Cody Durden. So give me Ulichi Lang here. I like him at that number. This is Slimeball candidate number 1, baby. Boo, boo, boo. Slimeball candidate number 1, Ulichi Lang. Minus 225. It's a decent little number. Else, I think, is going to look for the fight to get to the ground. I think Ulichi Lang hopefully can keep him on the feet and take over the fight here. Again, Else is pretty scrappy dude. You know, I think he's only been finished once or twice in his career. Let's double check that, huh? Let's not start in facts. So I know Kyle Phillips finished him. Got finished. Okay, so he's been finished a few times. I was wrong. He got finished his debut. Got finished by Ed Arthur, and he got finished by Damian Wheaton plus Kyle Phillips. Okay, so give me Ulichi Lang there. I apologize. I like him, and else I'd only been finished once. That's an oversight. Next up, Tyson Pedro, minus 590. Woof. Versus Ike Villanueva, he is plus 425. I like Tyson Pedro. You forget about this guy. He's been out for like, 4 years, right? He had devastating like a knee thing, right? He's before 2018. Yeah, 4 years. It'll be 4 years this December. Coming off a loss over Shogun Rua, which was not his great performance. No loss over OSP. Got arm locked. The Rua fight, he gassed out. Before that, you know, his debut in the UFC, he beat Roundtree, which is a good performance. Paul Craig by elbows, which is obviously looking like a pretty good win now, considering. Dropped the decision to Lilita Latifi, Sarberg, Safarov, who, you know, he is what he is, not very good. Kimura him and then dropped 2, and he's been out for 4 years. So battling some type of injury, but this guy's huge. He's big for 205. Ike Villanueva, not a fucking world beater in his own right, likes to stand up, likes to bang it out, has lost by submission million and billions and trillions of times. And that's where I think Tyson Pedro is going to take it down. Now, listen, 590 is stiff. It's very stiff. I like Tyson by submission here. Again, don't have the props in front of me. Maybe I'll do a prop show on Friday. We'll live stream the prop show. Just to dig in on the props, and I really don't have any listed here, and I only really place bets with DraftKings. So Tyson Pedro by submission is my pick. Minus 590 is absurd. 4 years off, a guy with cardio issues coming in there against a pretty durable Ike Villanueva. I mean, he's got a fucking catcher's mitt face, right? You know, and he's tough. He's 18-13. He's willing to get down and get dirty. If this doesn't go Tyson Pedro's way in that second or third round, if you can live bet, hammer Ike Villanueva. But my first read right now is Tyson Pedro going to go in there. He's been working hard. Tai Tuivasa is like his boy. They're like right-hand man. Tai Tuivasa has upped his game. I'm assuming Tyson Pedro has upped his game. Give me that submission. But I like Tyson Pedro. Minus 590 steep, though, boys. Dwight Grant, plus 100 versus Sergey. These Russian names kill me. Kadodoziko. I'm going to go Sergey because I'm embarrassing myself. If you listen to this and you're from Russia or you speak Russian, I apologize for offending your whole nation. And that's another thing about back to the Mongolian murderer. I could spend the next 100 years. Obviously, I'm not going to live in 100 years. But if I could spend the next 50 years every day studying Mongolian or Chinese, and I would never learn how to speak it. My mouth just doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. I think I could probably understand it. Like, obviously, you're going to eventually pick it up. I'm not that dumb, but I'll never physically be able to say it with my mouth because it just doesn't work that way. English words are hard enough. I can't add anything else in there. But a Dwight Grant versus Sergey here, this fight, you know, I fade Dwight Grant every time he goes out, right? This is a guy who he came out the Contender Series, right? Yeah, came out the Contender Series. Nice knockout over Tyler Hill. Gets thrown in the UFC, and then up and down, and then just a lot of his losses aren't good. A lot of his wins aren't. I mean, Alan Joban's his best win was a split decision. I thought he lost that fight. Thought he lost the fight to Francisco, he did lose a fight to Francisco Trinaldo. A lot of people thought he won. I think he dropped Trinaldo a couple times in that fight, but Dwight Grant just doesn't go. He just needs to go. He does have big power, but he has been caught before. And just Sergey debuted in the UFC against Rustam Khabilov. Decision loss. Khabilov's a beast, 23-4 in his own right. He's got a good win over Rustam Markham in the UFC, excuse me. Outside the UFC, he's got some decent wins. A lot of losses by choke. So clearly, this guy wants to stand up. He's a Muay Thai specialist. He wants to fucking kick your head off your shoulders. Just kick it right off those fucking things. Dwight Grant can mix it up a little bit, but I don't love his wrestling. I don't think even if he gets it to the ground, I don't think he's like a submission threat. He wants to stand up as well. His boxing's pretty good. He's obviously proven to have some heavy hands at 170. The plus number is tempting. I can understand why people would want to take Dwight Grant because, again, this card is a little lean when it comes to underdogs. But I'm going to give Sergey here. You're going to give me a Russian versus a fucking guy who I fade all the time. I'm going to take the Russian because I'm a chalk boy. Give me the chalk. Give me the Russian. I think it's going to be a stand-up fight. And as long as both guys have a little bit of cardio because they have faded in the past, it should be a fun fight. But I like Sergey here. I think he's more dynamic. He's got some good kicks. He moves a little bit. Cardio still putting question on both these guys. Dwight Grant has been knocked out before. So has Sergey, but Sergey's biggest weakness is when it goes to the ground. Don't think Dwight really has that kind of in his arsenal. So give me Sergey. I'm going the Russian, fading Dwight Grant again. Advice for the listeners. You don't have to tell everything I do. If you're a Dwight Grant fan, you go, oh, that's a great number. Brian's wrong. Take Dwight Grant. I'm wrong all the time, baby. Okay. But I don't think I'm wrong this one. All right. Jordan Wright. This guy's a serial killer. Plus 155 versus Marc-Andre Barriot, who is a minus 190. Jordan Wright's a guy who scares me. And I tell you why. He's a serial killer, right? The Beverly Hills Ninja. He's got that look where it's like he's got bodies chopped up in his truck. Might be the nicest guy in the world. I have no idea. But he creeps me out a little bit. But this dude's kill or be killed, right? Bruno Silva's last time out, a minute 30. There was so much that happened in that minute 30 of that fight. Bruno Silva, a beast. Only one loss in the UFC right now, and that was against Alex Pereira just not too long ago. Jordan Wright gave it to Silva and just got caught, and that's been his biggest issue. He gets caught. His chin is not that great. Joaquin Buckley, another fight where he was doing okay in the first round, got caught at the end of the first round, put away in the second. Jamie Pickett jumped all over to Jamie Pickett, took him out of there in a little over a minute. Jamie Pickett's a very durable guy. That's probably his best win. Got knocked out in the Contender Series by Anthony Hernandez, got overturned, got brought into the UFC. He beat Chico by knockout, and he beat Villanova by cut, and then has a win over Pickett. Now enter Marc-Andre Barriot. This guy was a tank. This guy, to me, wasn't the most skilled guy in the world, but every time he lost, it was by some kind of decision, and he was fighting really good guys. Looks like I got makeup on. Sorry, my face is red. What is going on? It's the lights. Dude, look, every time I say my face is red, it's getting redder. What is happening? I look like fucking Santa Claus. All right, never mind. I don't care. I'm not vain. But every fight in the UFC, Andrew Sanchez lost, right? Decision. Christoph Jacob, split decision, very close. Junior Park, he's very good. Decision. No contest against Oscar Pachota. Beat Abu Azar, ground and pound. First finish in UFC. Beat Dolce, good win by decision. Then he gets Chidi and Njukwe. And Chitty ain't fucking around. Chitty, bang, bang, boom, put him out in the first round. Barriot, the tank, took a shot, got knocked out in the first round. Now, here's the rub. That can happen in this fight. People are favoring Jordan Wright because of how quickly Barriot got knocked out. I can understand that. I get that completely. But I think Barriot is a guy who he got caught. Everyone gets caught in that first whatever. I think he knows what Jordan Wright's bringing. I think he's going to keep it to himself a little bit. And then when the fight goes on, he's going to open up and land some strikes. Because I do think Barriot still has a chin, even though he got put out. This is Slimeball candidate number 2. Number 2, the Canadian Marc-Andre Barriot. This is purely based on the fact that I think if it goes outside of 2 minutes, Barriot's going to take over no matter what. I don't think Jordan Wright can go 3 rounds. The best bet for this fight, and it's going to be a very high number, is fight doesn't go to decision. Parlay that with another prop. There's no way this sees the cards. Neither of these guys, like Andre Barriot, even though he is a decision fighter, technically with only one finish in the UFC, he can crack. And he's got finishes outside the UFC, and Jordan Wright, that guy's just not built for the cards. I can see Wright being an active dog here. I can understand why people like that play. Good money, lean card when it comes to dogs. He can catch you in a second. Barriot's coming off a really early knockout, but I'm going to go with fucking Ironhead Barriot here. Oh, Canada. Let's go. Preston Parsons versus Evan Elder. Do not have a line for this fight. This fight just got put together like 20 minutes ago. Preston Parsons, took a big old drink, went down the wrong pipe. Preston Parsons, 9-3, debuted in the UFC against Daniel Rodriguez. Looked pedestrian, but Daniel Rodriguez, D-Rod's is a G. He's good. But this guy wants to get the fight to the ground. He's got really good chokes. Really good arm bars. Rear naked chokes, a lot of his wins there. But he's fighting Evan Elder, who this guy's built big, boys. This is a thick kid what weight is his? Lightweight. 25 years old, training out of Sanford MMA. Both these dudes are from Florida, so it's going to be a Florida off. I don't know any other zip codes besides 305, which is Miami. I don't think either of these guys are representing Miami, but Evan Elder, a guy who I was not familiar with, I looked on his Instagram and I went and looked at his record. So 0-0, 0-0, 0-1, 2-1, 6-6, 4-1, 9-16 was his last fight. And that was by knockout in third round. So Marcus Andruslo, who's 9-18. This dude, has he fought anywhere good? No. So Marcus Andruslo took him to the third round, which scares me, but I don't know. Evan Elder is still becoming his own fighter. Striking's very stiff, but it's powerful. He puts people down. He can land big strikes, and he's more positioned on top. He's a good wrestler. Preston Parts could easily catch him. He might be better on the ground, but I like the grinding ability of Evan Elder here. I don't have a line in this fight. If I had a cap it, this could be very, very close. The opening line, I would probably lean towards Parsons, but Evan Elder is undefeated, and he's got a pretty good camp behind him, a great camp behind him. Not pretty good. They're fucking great. And he might even lean slight favorite, but I'm taking Evan Elder. If he's going to be a slight dog, I say hammer it, or a bigger dog, hammer it. If Vegas is seeing something I'm not seeing, do it. But Preston Parsons, I think, really has one way to win, and that's on the ground. Evan Elder cannot go to the ground if he doesn't want to. I think Preston Parsons' takedown's a little average. Evan Elder, not the best striker in the world, but is powerful. Boy can crack. So let's go Evan Elder. What's up? Charles Jordan. -125 versus Lando Venata, +105. This is probably the best fight on the card. Maybe not the best fight on the card. There's some really good fights on the card, but this probably will be the best fight on the card. My favorite thing is I listen to a lot of other podcasts. I listen to a lot of YouTube shows and cappers and stuff, and a lot of them from Canada. And it's so funny. Canada's huge, different provinces, and it's great hearing people from maybe closer to a French province pronounce Charles Jourdain, and then guys like me from America that says Jourdain. You know what I mean? But he's a legit dude. Lando Venata. When's Lando in a boring fight? Never. This line is super close. I like the line. Venata coming off a win over Mike Grundy, which is kind of a wrestle fest. He looked pretty good. Venata has wrestled in the past. For that decision on Bobby Green, Yancy Medeiros, we're going Marc DeCasey, we're going Marcus Mariano, Drakkar Close. So if you look at his record, right, and we all, as cappers, we're all looking for patterns. We're all looking for an edge, right? So he went, his last win, he has gone loss, win, loss, win, loss, win. So he's coming off a win, which means he should be coming to a loss. Am I right, boys? Lando's great. And Charles Jourdain has burned me in the past. I like this kid a lot. They're both very good, stylistically matched up really well here. Jourdain is very technical. He's a good striker. Lando, a great striker as well. They have their own unique styles. Lando throws a lot of that spinning shit, and Jourdain's more within himself. He can throw some spinning shit too, but Jourdain, my biggest thing is like, this kid just needs to get a little meaner in there. Like Julian Rosa fight, put a lot of money on Jourdain. Rosa's a fucking complete savage dog. No problem there. But I thought he could control that and take Rosa out. Rosa has been finished before. He slowed down, got choked out in that third round. And Rosa, again, is a savage. But then the Andre Ewell fight, he was mad. He came back 3 months later, fought Andre Ewell up in Andre's debut at 145. And Andre Ewell's a fucking savage as well. And these boys went at it. They went at it. And Jourdain showed that meanness. At the end of every round, he's fucking throwing heat. I mean, it was amazing. One of the best fights of the night. Decision win. Andre Ewell, tough as they come, stayed in there. But something clicked. Jourdain's like, fuck this. I'm going because I got the skills and I want to see him go against Lando. So I'm picking Jourdain. I like his skills better than Lando Venata. Things a little more tighter, a little more cleaner, a little bigger in there. Lando's going to have the wrestling advantage if he wants to take it there. He might not. I don't know. He likes to play on the feet. He likes to have fun. He gets hit way too much. So Lando gets hit every fight. He bleeds every fight. It's nuts. Give me Jourdain. That's Slimeball candidate number 3. Got one more comment, then I'm going to give you the Slimeball at the end. It's a juicy one, boys. Juicy. Sorry for doing that in the mic. If you're a misophonia type of person, I probably just turned you on. I apologize. My daughter's hollering in the background. She just got some dinner, so she is fired up. Sumajari versus Manel Kopp, +160 versus -190 on Manel Kopp. Now, I broke all the remaining fights besides the Romanov because he's got a new opponent, and the Claudio Puelles fight on Anakin Florian. So I'm going to kind of keep it maybe short and sweet here. I don't want to bore you and keep repeating myself. I'm high on Manel Kopp. Like, Manel Kopp is my guy. I thought he's going to come over from the UFC over and from Rizin, and I think he could realistically be 4-0. I thought he lost the Pantoja fight. Some people made the argument maybe he won. Really didn't do much. Kind of froze. We'll drop him that out. I thought he beat Nicolau in that fight. lost that decision. Now he's coming off 2 knockout wins. He left AK. He's in Vegas now, which I think is good because I think he went to AK to really shore up his wrestling. I think that wrestling is there now. Now he just needs the bodies, and everyone's in Vegas nowadays training at either Syndicate, Extreme Couture. You're going to get work. Sumajari's a guy comes in to UFC, 3-1 in his own right. His one loss is a Luis Smolka by submission. One knockout over Malcolm Gordon, very quick in that fight, and decision wins over Saruk Adashev and then Andre Sukuma. Sukuma, I believe, is not in the UFC anymore, and Saruk Adashev is 3-2. He's a striker, though. He wants to play on the feet, Sumajari. He's good. He's long. He wants to keep it on the feet. Now, Cap, though, he wants to keep it on the feet, too. And what he did with Odie Osborne, who was kind of built similar to Sumajari, was very impressive. Now, Cap took shots in that fight. He opened up to open up Odie, which is something that we hadn't seen up until that point. Once he lands, though, it's a wrap. Like, this dude at 125 might be the hardest hitter at 125. Devinson Figueiredo is up there as well, but this dude can fucking smack you, and he's going to smack Sumajari. This is Slimeball candidate number 4. We'll give you the 3 at the end, baby. That's what we call tease in the biz. Call that a tease in the biz. Give me, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm jacked up. I'm ready to watch some PFL. But yeah, I like Manel Cop big in this. And not only do I like him big in this, boys, but if you don't know what that sound is, it's the first time listening. That is locking them up, mortal lock, Manel Cop. So if you don't want to follow the slime ball, if you're a straight wager guy and you got a fat bankroll, throw it on a Manel Cop, minus 190. Earlier in the week, he was like minus 160. He's obviously climbing. Wouldn't be surprised if he closes 2-1. I still like that number. This guy's going to fight for the title one day. I'm super high on him. Give me Manel Cop. Now, there could be a possibility that I'm overlooking Sumajari, but I'm not the type of guy that goes, well, Sumajari can win, and so Manel Cop can win, and you're trying to save your ass. You're trying to go, so when your fighter loses, you can go back and be like, well, see, I did say Sumajari had a shot. No. Sumajari does have a shot. I could be overlooking him, but my dick's on the table. My nuts are out. Manel Cop, and it's not like it's that big of a play. He is a favorite, but I like him by knockout as well. That's a prop I'm going to be chasing as well. Probably going to be along the lower end of the props, but it will be there. Macy Barber versus Montana De La Rosa. One of my favorite names in the UFC, Montana De La Rosa. Montana, I think, is a cool name. De La Rosa, badass last name. It's almost as good as Ignacio Balmendez, which is the best name because that dude's in romance novels, just banging broads. Macy Barber, Montana. This is a high-level fight, though. I like Macy. I picked Macy. I think she's going to win by a decision. Kenny broke it down better than I did. I thought on the Anconforian podcast, Kenny talked about the athleticism and just how Macy's a little bit better everywhere. Montana, I think, does have a grappling advantage, maybe a wrestling advantage. But I think Macy's just so cardio's on point nowadays. Coming back from that knee surgery, she's mean in there. Striking's coming along. She's dangerous on top. Montana is definitely a live underdog at plus 155. Macy Barber minus 180. But I like Barber here. If I didn't put a rule on myself of adding women to parlays because I've been burned before because women MMA is just not my strong suit yet, I would add Macy Barber. I am that confident, but I'm not doing that. She's not a slime ball candidate. Don't worry. I've learned from my mistakes, boys. Fool me once or whatever that saying goes. Give me Macy Barber here. I like her by decision, and I like her to look pretty good in this fight too. I'm like what I'm seeing on Instagram, and I think she's that good. I really do. She's 23 years old. She's constantly going to get better. And she's not a type of girl to slack off. Like this woman is fierce and a badass, and she's going to come in there and she's going to handle business. Alexander Romanov versus Chase Sherman. This fight got put together. I had Bozier in there. Romanov is a minus 1430. Just got these from Best Fight Odds. These are not on DraftKings yet. And then Chase Sherman plus 700. You can expect that to go here. Boy, oh boy. So I picked Bozier in the Romanov fight because I thought Romanov would slow down and Bozier would take over. It's a nice little juicy underdog play. Bozier got hurt. What are you going to do? Enter Chase Sherman. Now, people are like, Chase Sherman just got cut. Why is he back? I'll tell you why. Money. So Chase Sherman, right? How old is Chase Sherman, first off? He could be 24. I don't know. He's probably not. 32. So he's still fairly young for heavyweight. Okay, so Chase Sherman got cut. They give him a call, said, hey, Chase, my guy, we have a fight for you. And he probably goes, okay, who is it? And they're like, yeah, that big fucking, he's not Russian. What is he? Moldovan, Alex Romanov? Yeah, him on 4 days notice. You want to do it? Chase goes, give me a bag and a 4-fight deal. I'll do it. And they're like, okay, done. Chase just came out, so he's got a 4-fight deal, and he's getting paid a lot of money for this fight. That is business. That is a business decision. Chase Sherman's so tough, 32 years old. He's like, listen, I got a shot in the first 2 minutes to clip this guy. If I get to the ground, fucking, I know I'm done, right? So that's why I like Romanov by sub. I don't like him by TKO. I think Chase is going to, when he gets, when and I'm not knocking Chase here, Chase Sherman, even though I do think he is not UFC quality heavyweight, but Romanov's going to get to the ground and he's going to fucking donkey punch him. Chase is going to roll, and then he's going to give up something, and then Romanov's going to take it head and arm or some kind of submission, and Chase, instead of fighting it, Chase is like, I don't want to get hit anymore. I still got this bag waiting for me. I got 3 more fights. I'm tapping out, right? That would be the smart way. So I like Romanov by sub. Clearly don't have the props in front of me once again, but obviously Romanov by sub. And by the way, buyer be warned. If you tail me, thank you. Love you. Never going to sell my picks, right? Never going to happen. Never going to put them behind a paywall, Patreon, whatever, right? I'm hot right now. I'm hot. But if you do buy picks, if you pay for touts, or you follow a guy that you tail, maybe he doesn't pay for whatever, but maybe he asks, hey, slide in that Venmo, man. I won you some money or whatever. If your guy is giving you top ticket Romanov and Dean Barry, and let's say Tyson Pedro, if he gives you that as a 3-fight parlay and you're paying him like $25 for a pick, fire him, call the cops on him, block him, because you're getting robbed. And I'm not saying there's guys out there that are going to do that. That's just pure laziness. There fucking might be. I could see Romanov and Tyson Pedro and all these guys being top ticket plays, and they're the biggest on the card. Anybody with a brain can look at a number and go, oh, that's the highest number. I think he'll win, right? Don't pay for these schmucks, these scumbags. Okay, listen to me. Listen to Kenny Florin. We got you for free, baby. Got you for free. But I like Romanov by sub there. Co-main event, Clay Guida versus Claudio Puelles. We have not broken down this fight because Claudio came on after me, did a nice little interview there. Claudio's a guy who slept on a little bit. Here's my problem with me, okay? This is my own problem. A guy comes in the UFC like Claudio, gets knocked out by Martin Bravo, right? Competitive fight, gets knocked out in the second round. I remember that as his debut. And I go, okay, I'm going to fade this guy. Fights Felipe Silva. I think I picked Felipe Silva. I don't think I had money on it. Okay. Marcus Mariano. I definitely picked Claudio in that fight. Didn't bet it. But I did bet Jordan Levitt. Big mistake. Claudio dominated. Looked great. I did bet Chris Grussmacher, right? Very competitive fight. Knee bar, third round, whatever. Claudio looked fantastic. So 4-fight win streak after coming off that UFC. I faded this guy. I haven't paid attention to this guy because I'm an idiot. Clay Guida, baby. Groovy Clay. I don't know how his name's not Groovy Clay. This dude's coming off a nice little win over Leonardo Santos, which was a great comeback win there. Took some big shots. Should have been submitted. Wasn't. Came back, submitted Leonardo Santos himself. Marc Madsen's a fight where a lot of people thought he won. He could be on a 3-fight win streak here. He's grappling Billy Quarantillo outside the UFC. Won that. The last time he got finished was Jim Miller back in 2019 by guillotine choke in round 1. Just dove right into that. So Clay's been pretty active, and he's been wanting these young guns, right? Claudio was a dog earlier in the week. Now it's a straight pick him at plus 110. I like Claudio's length. I like his striking. I like his submissions over Clay. Clay's going to go back to what Clay knows. He's going to go back to diving at legs. He's going to go back to wrestling, which I think is a smart strategy. His striking's coming along. His overhand right's great. He clipped Marc Madsen with it, right? He hurt Leonardo Santos on the feet with it as well. But I think his obviously what he's always going to revert back to is that wrestling and that grinding style. He wants to grind out Puelles. I think Puelles is smart enough to know, hey man, it ain't gonna fucking happen. I'm lights out on the ground. I'm good on the feet. I like Claudio here, and I like him by sub as well. I'm going to hammer that sub prop. Don't know if I'm going to touch the money line. Maybe I will because it's a pick 'em. I like pick 'em fights. So minus 110 to Claudio Puelles here. Taking him by sub. I think Clay will have a pretty good maybe first round. If he doesn't get caught in a guillotine right away, it's going to be a competitive fight. But I see Claudio catching something late, whether it's almost like a Kenny Florin fight where he rocks Clay. Clay goes to the ground. Kenny snatches his neck, right? I can see Claudio doing that. I think Claudio is a guy that flew under my radar. This is a nice little step up for him. This is a good benchmark because Clay is a tricky fighter. Give me the young gun. Give me Claudio. And I like that. All right, main event, Amanda Lemos was Jessica Andrade. Love this fight. I think it's going to a decision. I think both females are unbelievably tough. These Brazilian women are something special, man. They're fucking bangers. They have so much heart and pride. And I don't know if there's bad blood or not. Probably not. It doesn't have to be, right? They may even know each other. I don't know. But it's shocking to me that Jessica Andrade has been around forever. Former champion, has fought for the title multiple times. Fought Joanna, lost, beat Rose, lost to Lee, and then fought for Valentina and lost. So she's been around and she's been a champion and she's fought for multiple belts. She's 4 years younger than Lemos, which is crazy. I mean, 22-9 is Andrade's record, and Amanda Lemos is 11-1-1. Lemos lost her UFC debut, and then the Angela Hill fight was super slimy, boys. I think Angela Hill, I have to go back and rewatch it. I've only seen some highlights, but very slimy in my opinion. Amanda Lemos, though, likes to fight on the outside. She's good everywhere. Jessica Andrade happens to be pretty fucking good everywhere, too. My pick was Andrade on Sunday when I made it on Egg and Florian. I haven't wavered. She's minus 195. I might stay away, if I was you boys, of any kind of parlay with this. It's the last fight of the night. You can't hedge out. I think Jessica Andrade by decision is probably your best play here, or maybe just Jessica Andrade by money line, maybe even by knockout. I think Lemos is so tough, but 5 rounds with that beast coming at you, that little fire hydrant coming at you. Good fucking luck, man. Jessica Andrade is the real deal. One of my favorite fighters. I mean, she brings it every time. She's an absolute fucking beast. By the way, I missed my John Anik cue here. My send him home is Tyson Pedro by sub. That was my send him home.
Send him home. Send him home early.
Send him home early, baby. So recap, dog lock, Philip Lins. Not confident about it, but it's a lean card. Give me a break. Send him home, Tyson Pedro. I think he's going to get a sub in the first round. I would hammer first round sub. If it goes sideways, it goes in that second round because he's been out for 4 years. Let's start hedging our bets, boys. And then Mortal Lock, Manel Cop. I'm very confident. I like Cop. He's one of my guys. Slimeball candidate as well. So brings me to the Slimeball Parlay. And boy, is it juicy. I have it written down. I have not placed the bets yet. I usually go on Saturdays. I might go on Friday. So this is obviously subject to change. The line, not my picks. My picks are locked in. Okay. First, Slimeball, number 1, Manel Cop, right? He is my mortal lock. I think he's going to win minus 190. Let's get him, right? I think he's going to win by knockout. I don't parlay money lines with props. I don't do that, okay? It's a rule. Parlay props with props. Number 2, Charles Jourdain, a Canadian, baby. I love that fight with Lando. People might be scared off about this pick because Lando Venata never gets finished, and it's a very close fight with him every time. I just really think that Jourdain is going to be a step ahead of him with everything. And as long as his cardio checks out, and as long as he looks like the Andre Ewell fight, we're going to be in good shape here. I think he beats Lando by decision, and it's going to be close. But listen, this is gambling. This isn't easy. This is a thin card. I had to scratch and claw. I ain't giving you Romanov. I ain't giving you Tyson Pedro. I ain't giving you Dean Barry. I'm giving you some fucking winners here, okay? And the third one, another Canadian boy, Marc-Andre Barrier. I feel like I'm hard on the Canadians. I love Canada. Marc-Andre Barrier, that gives you plus 341 as a slime ball. One of the highest slime balls of the year, almost 4-1 on your money. We're going to need some bounces. We're going to need Jordan Wright to show up and get knocked out like he always does. We're going to need a Jourdain to be on, and we're going to need Manel Cop to just throw, and we're cashing tickets, boys. That's it. That's the show. I kept it a quick 40. I wanted to kind of keep it right there because fights are on. Dinner's waiting for me. Wanted to hammer this out. That is it. That's the fights. Go follow me on MMA Takes Podcast on all social media. Instagram, hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Twitter, I'm heavy on Twitter. Got a DM. A guy was upset with me that I wasn't responding to DMs on Twitter, or excuse me, on Instagram. I apologize. It goes to a weird folder that I don't ever see, and I'm never on it. So I do apologize. I got back to you. Relax. Okay. I don't know what that was. Delete that. Delete that from your minds. I'm going to go in a silly, goofy mood today. And then buy a shirt. These shirts are fire. If you want one, I didn't press you to buy shirts before because I didn't know how they turn out. They turn out fire. We got a Slime Ball shirt. We got an MMA Take shirt. We got a Capper shirt. And we got a Chalk Boys and a Value Boy shirt. Which one are you? Are you Chalk Boy or you Value Boy? You're Chalk Boy or Value Boy? I'm a winning boy. Let's fucking